GME employees, what is it like at work? I had to go into one yesterday just to see if they had switch chargers. As I entered, the employee mumbled, "No, you can't buy stock here." That's funny. Kids coming in crying they aren't getting a game too. Also, kids coming in and doing the floss, TikToking and touching every single thing they see. They're changing the colour scheme. Get rid of the red and embrace the gold. The shirts are coming next week. The gold. A mix between crying kids and tweens complaining about games consoles, soccer mums demanding better prices, and the fat man children or woman children who only come in to make awkward faces at every Funko Pop or accessory in the store. 18 hours ago, you know how in high school you would stare at the clock waiting for class to end? It's basically that, but you have 12 assignments due at the end of class, and the principal comes in every 30 seconds to tell you that literally nothing you've done is correct. And that you're going to get detention if you don't tutor all the other students one-on-one until they achieve straight A's on their next exam. This is good. Good work, Tangles. The day-to-day employees have nothing to do with what is happening over the past week. There's always so much stupid that it's kind of hard to notice a little bit of extra stupid. Oh, people are answering this as if we actually care what a day in the life of a GameStop employee is like. Oh. No, we care about the work environment over the past 2 weeks with GameStop being worth more than American Airlines. Former 7-year store manager here. It's like a mix between a normal retail store and a pawn shop. I was an assistant at a high volume store and the first 4 hours of every day was processing trades. Most days there was already a line before we opened, and it only got worse after we started taking phones and other devices. It really varied by district, and fortunately I had some wonderful district managers that I learned a lot from and took time to develop me. The two issues I had working for GameStop is the abysmal pay compared to other small box retailers, and most of the corporate people and district managers had no love or passion for the gaming industry. They knew they were on borrowed time for a very long time. Their philosophy is to squeeze as much profit before they go under. In light of everything, one of my old friends still with the company says it's business as usual, but they aren't allowed to talk about what is going on. They take it very seriously. Ooh, interesting. DFV rolled into my location and told us all to put on adult-sized baby clothing and made it rain on us while we crawled around the floor. Oh, this is funny. Well, unless rules changed, you can offer to pre-order anything. If a customer asks about a game, it's coming out next month, would you like to pre-order, even if the game does not exist? They will let you pre-order. For them it's pure profit, and most people forget they ordered. I'm just going to read this and get a bunch of assumptions about this place because I've never and will never go to one. As an ex-employee, but I have one story that explains how it feels like. Kid comes to the counter with a $100 gift card. I think it was Xbox or something. I ask him where his parent is. He says they are getting lunch. I had to wait with this kid for about 50 minutes before the parents came, told the kid they said something under $20. He makes a fuss before running and slashing down an entire row of games. Oh, the joys. Still getting paid 10 an hour. There you go. I have not used Reddit for a week or so. What happened? Come on, you've been living under a rock. The WSB sub banded together to short squeeze the GME stock, making big billionaire hedge fund lose billions. It's pretty hilarious actually. I don't work at a GameStop and everyone is talking about GME and going to the moon. Don't work at GameStop, but where is Battletoads for the World W22? Stealing a new game and playing. Alright, crikey. I only worked at GameStop for 10 months. I got fired. But way too many Karens. Sirio one time, this like 6-foot hulk of a man asked for a Super Mario, and when I told him the price $50, this little kid's mum came up to me and said my son is a pro gamer. I instantly kicked her out. That's how I got fired. Exciting, but can be stressful. Worked at the Funko Land, which became EB Games, then GameStop. During the rollout of the first Sony PlayStation, we got a shipment. Couldn't wait to see what was inside. Yep, just one PlayStation console, about 50 copies of Monopoly for NES, and 100 cleaning kits. Looking back, I don't know how they ever stayed in business. But the employees mostly got high and played video games, so it wasn't exactly a job. That sounds amazing. My two best friends work at GameStop. One was a kind of boss that doesn't mean anything because there are several managers and bosses, and it was all a bit weird, but they both agree on one thing. The customers are amazing. It's the bosses, management and marketing that makes the place a shithole. Edit GameStop in Germany. I had to go into one yesterday just to see if they had switch chargers. As I entered, the employee mumbled, "No, you can't buy stock here." I'm getting the faint impression here that the stock's rising doesn't affect the employees very much. Wonder how that works. GameStop is an incredible work environment, low maintenance as for understudies. The environment is constantly laid back and you just kind of hang out and talk computer games with all the clients. That sounds pretty cool. It's kind of similar to that film High Fidelity, where they work at a record store and talk music the entire day. EB Games technically, but they moved from one end of the mall to the other. I liked the other location. It was small but cozy and a lot more colourful too. Everyone knows that I'm a Redditor, so they think I'm responsible. It's a horror show. Even the nostalgia chick lookalike who works behind the desk with me has started constantly talking about how attractive one of our shelf stackers are. I objectively got her first. Only the kind we are going to use to throw tomatoes at the hedge fund managers. Not me, but a friend of mine was assistant manager, then manager of a few local stores. His district manager helped an employee steal from the store, then covered it up by blaming my friend and getting him fired. Crikey. Apparently, at the time, that was the culture of the entire company. This question implies that stock trade has any bearing on operations and demonstrates a profound misunderstanding of reality. Ooh, heavy. Employees are still having to deal with snot-nosed brats and angry mums who can't be bothered to check ratings before buying a pornographic game for their totally innocent and cute little boy. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to go there. What did you think was happening? I think a lot of this depends on the store you work at. The first location I worked at was in a mall and was super awesome with a bunch of chill people and very relaxed. I moved and ended up transferring to a new store that was in a strip mall. This location was 100% different and the store manager was on a huge power trip. The worst part was he expected us to work off the clock, or you won't work here any longer. I was young and dumb and just went along with it because I needed a job. Poor college kid. Anyway, that was the last retail job I ever had. And honestly, I kinda still hate GameStop for the crap the employees dealt with. When all is said and done, some people will make money. Most will lose, but since most people only kicked it in like $100, it's not a big deal. The hedge funders will be selling their shirts and GameStop will resume as normal. The more important news to GameStop is actually that guy from Chewy.com becoming a board member. He might be able to transition GameStop to a mostly online store like Humble Bundle or Stream and do well because they would also be willing to sell physical copies for those inclined. One important thing to remember is there is trillions of dollars in the stock market. 99% of investors is business as normal. Only short sellers are worried, and only a select subset are heavily invested in GameStop itself. Ultimately, little changes. Most of that projected 50 billion will end up in other hands. Now, GameStop may not be hugely affected, but Robinhood and some other mutual funds apps will be. Trust in them is utterly shattered now that they prevented buying, whereas other companies are taking their business causes because they haven't.